Instead of a clean CR, this bill contains language that has been airdropped in that will destroy hemp farming in Kentucky and across the United States. Tucked away on page 163, Title VII, Division B of this spending package is a provision that will shut down the hemp industry across the United States.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Nick Moseder here. And after Rand Paul voted against his party to end the filibuster, he then went on to try to delay the reopening of the government by holding everybody hostage over what he called a poison pill that was inserted into the clean CR by Mitch McConnell, his fellow Kentucky senator. And the entire Senate, almost 76 of them, just voted to shut him down and annihilate him and keep the poison pill in there. This is very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and you're not going to want to miss this update. But first, click like on this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and if you want to save a ton of money on your Christmas presents, then go to MyPillow.com, enter promo code Nick at checkout, and you'll save up to 66% off MyPillow products and get free shipping. Now, let's get right into it. So like many of you guys out there, I thought that the government was going to reopen again because last night we got the 60 votes to end the filibuster, and that's that, right? But apparently there's more to it. And mind you, I'm just a red-bearded ginger that makes videos in his guest room, so I don't know everything. I'm still learning here. Cut me some slack. Apparently this still has to get debated and finalized. And Rand Paul, as we know, voted against his party last night, which means that they don't have unanimous consent. And when you don't have unanimous consent, the finalization of the bill, making it official so that we can reopen the government, actually gets delayed, and he was trying to slow things down. He could have kept the government closed another week while they hashed this out. Now, what was he so upset about, you're probably wondering? Well, apparently, inside of the agricultural portion of the appropriations bill, Mitch McConnell tried to include some language in there that he didn't think anybody was going to read. And that language would put a nationwide ban on certain hemp products, a certain chemical, which is a loophole, which you guys may be familiar with, this stuff called Delta-8 THC, which is something that gets you a little high. It was originally intended when they legalized hemp that, things like rope and clothing would be produced, but then some scientists and chemists came along and realized they could take the CBD, which is perfectly legal, and bastardize it into something called Delta-8 THC, which does get you a little high, and it's like a legal loophole. Well, Mitch McConnell, he slipped some language in there, which would put a ban to this loophole. And Rand Paul did not like it. And so he took to the Senate floor and started making the argument that this poison pill is going to damage the economy. There's $1 billion industry that's been created in the production of these products, which is true. Kentucky's economy is heavily reliant on the production of hemp. A lot of the farmers have switched from mass producing tobacco to producing hemp because it's become more profitable. So he decided he's not going to vote with his party. He's going to instead try to delay the process of reopening the government. And he was going to do that as long as he possibly could until they agreed to have a vote on this one section, this one provision, this so-called poison pill inserted by Mitch McConnell. However, in a massive bipartisan effort, the Senate all came together, held hands, and sang Kumbaya, and shut him down in a massive 76-24 to table this motion, which is basically a way of saying, shut up, Rand Paul. We're keeping it the way it is. We're leaving the poison pill in there. We're passing this bill, and we're reopening the government, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, on one hand, I can see that logic. They want to stop the bleeding. They want to stop the angry constituents from blowing up their phones every single day of the week, demanding that they reopen the government, and they're willing to basically pass anything through at this point in expedited fashion. However, on the other hand, I see where Rand Paul is coming from, because I don't believe for a second that Mitch McConnell is concerned about the safety of, kids getting Delta-8 THC in their hands and getting high. I don't think that's what this is about at all. I think what this is about is the fact that while the government has a pretty strong stranglehold on the legalized form of cannabis, with regulations and taxes and all the revenue that it generates, this Delta-8 THC stuff was hitting their pockets, and so Mitch McConnell wanted to slip that through there and put a nationwide ban to it, which affects like 23 states in the country. And I'm sure old crooked turtle, cocaine China Mitch is lining his pockets right now as we speak. I'm sure he's getting paid handsomely for getting this legislation across the finish line as a rider, as a poison pill in this, clean CR, as they call it. And I think he knew that given the climate of things, you have flights getting canceled and delayed. You have Thanksgiving coming up while the government shut down. People lost their SNAP benefits, all that stuff. There's all this hysteria. And we just got the news. Everybody's under the impression that the government shutdown is over and we're going to reopen things. Rah, rah, hip, hip, hooray. And now's the time to slip a little poison pill into this bill, and nobody's going to stop it because they can't afford to. I mean, the optics of stopping this or delaying it any further is just going to be political suicide. Mitch McConnell, he's been around for a long time. He's been around the block once or twice. He knows how this stuff works. He's a smooth operator. I got to hand it to him. He's a very good, crooked criminal politician. So my hat's off to you, Mitch. You pulled a fast one on us, and you got this through. Now, what's going to happen next is we all need to pay very, very close attention. Once the government opens back up and everybody stops paying attention because the government's not shut down anymore, now the Republicans and the Democrats are going to go back and forth and debate whether or not to extend the Obamacare subsidies, which the Democrats just held the entire country hostage over. Because while we're all being told that the Republicans didn't cave, they didn't bend, they held the line, and they didn't give the Democrats anything that they want, essentially what's happened is they've kicked the can until January 31st, temporarily funding the government and promising to the Democrats that they're going to revisit these subsidies a month from now. And I don't know about you, but I just have a little hunch that the Democrats still have a couple of tricks up their sleeve, which the Republicans may or may not be prepared for, and only time is going to tell. So we all need to pay very close attention. We can't take our eyes off the ball because those 8 Democrats didn't come to the other side of the aisle for no reason. I'm sure there were some behind-the-scenes conversations and some handshakes and some backroom deals that were taking place. And from now until the next 12 weeks, we need to be very vigilant about what's going on, which is exactly what we intend to do on this channel. As we've always done, we try to tell the story that the mainstream media is not telling you. So, with that being said, if you like what we're doing here on this channel, be sure to show your support by leaving a like, subscribing to this channel, turning on the bell notifications, and if you want to support what we're doing here, as always, the best way to do that is by going to MyPillow.com, entering promo code Nick at checkout, saving yourself some money, supporting an American company, and supporting this channel bigly at the same time. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.